been happiness and there's been sorrow, divorce and court cases, but she's survived it all remarkably. She still packs out theatres whenever and wherever she gives a concert, and now she's back on the recording scene as well with this record. She is, of course, Dorothy Squires.
I am what I am. What I am needs no excuses. I hear my own deck. Sometimes the age, sometimes the duties. But it's my time that I blow my horn and I sound my trumpet. It's my turn. If you don't like it, you can love it. Your life is a sham till you can say, Hayward, I am what I am. It's my song. If you don't like that style I bring it, it's my song. So please respect my right to sing it. Your life's not worth a damn till you can say, Hayward, I am what I am. Your life's not worth a damn till you can say, Hayward, I am what I
When did you start in showbiz, Dorothy?
Well, I started in show business when I was, actually, I was singing to Collier's at dawn when I was 7 with my ukulele. I've always wanted to be in show business. But I entered show business when I wasn't quite, just after 15 and a half. And when you read my book and the things, when it eventually gets out, when you read the situations that we had to do, mind you, Chris, it's the only way to become a star. There isn't any time today for anybody to become, youngsters to become stars. It's rather sad actually, because I remember very briefly, concise. I was playing. I had to work 3 shows a night, and I'd be lucky if I'd earn £9 a week, you know, and I paid 12 and 6 for my room in Victoria. Anyway, I went on one gig, what they call a gig. It was a children's matinee, and when I got there, they got the wrong times, and I was getting £2.10 for it. So it was a children's matinee, and it was a cowboy picture, so they had the nerve to stop the cowboy picture for me to sing. Well, I'm not kidding you, and the pianist was drunk. As I walked down the aisle, they went, boo, get off, and an apple hit me on my lip. And can you imagine the 5th matinee? And then I thought, I've got to sing my 5 songs, otherwise I wouldn't get my 2%. And as this pianist, she was so drunk, she did a crescendo on the piano and fell on the floor. And I would sing the 3 songs unaccompanied because they wouldn't have paid me otherwise.
And 3 appearances a night, that kind of scale of work in those days. And yet these days, Dorothy, we don't see very much of you. Your public appearances are very few and far between. Why is that?
Well, first of all, I have been involved in writing, a tremendous amount of writing. On top of which, I've got a show on Broadway. We've got a show, a very big musical about Charles II, Old Rowley, and I've been back and forth to the States. I am going to do more, obviously, and this record now will, in fact, this I Am What I Am is out of a very big Broadway show, and I'm very excited about it because I put it on out on my own
That
label.
kind of points up one of the things I wanted to put to you, Dorothy, that you know, you say it's never been easy when you've released a record, that there's the feeling when you put on live shows that you've got to do it your way. You are a bit of an outsider, aren't you? You do see yourself as, to an extent, at war with the showbiz establishment.
Quite wrong, quite wrong, Chris. No. You see, if some people are out of the establishment, and one can say there's a blacklist. There isn't. It's just one of those things. I mean, at one time I can remember Cliff Richards telling me, he said, "Don, I can't get my records played." I said, "Join the club, pal." So you don't sit around and do it. You do something about it. And the first one that, I owe a great deal to Wales. My wonderful parents and I were born here. And the wonderful friends, I mean, I've never known a day in a studio, and believe me, I really mean this, they've all been pretty wonderful. And if I could name them by name, I'd be here all night. But when I ceased being a housewife, which I enjoyed very much in Hollywood, I was able to study music and do the things I'd always wanted to do. And of course, when I came back, as when it was all over, I had to get back into show business. And how to start when you've been away from it for so long is very, very, very dodgy. And of course, I chose Wales. One night, I had done about 3 weeks down in this all around the wonderful valley. And I always stay with my Aunt Martha. I'm going to see her tomorrow, actually. And I played the Bayview Club in Port Talbot. That night...
We've got some Port Talbot tickets.
And that night, I imagine the club held about 1,000, but there must have been 1,600, 1,700. And it was the most incredible thing I'd ever heard. You couldn't hear a sound, because when you realize they're all drinking pints, and the tills and one thing, there wasn't a sound. And I saw the sun coming down over the horizon, and I was doing my finale, singing my finale. And the audience, they were incredible. They really were. You could hear an absolute pin drop in a place like this, where you realize they're all passing pints, and there wasn't a move, and I was absolutely knocked out.
You've hinted at the problems you've had in your life, Dorothy. Do you have any regrets? If you could have your time over again, would you do it any differently?
No. I tell you why, Chris. You cannot reach the heights until you reach the depths.
Dorothy, we thank you for joining us this evening.
I wouldn't have missed it for all the money in the world. I really mean that. And it's been a fabulous, fabulous day. And thank you all very much.
Dorothy Squires, ladies and gentlemen.